Come on, come on, come on, come on. We're on episode 10. What's up, all y'all trickly bastards, and welcome back to It's 17 Summer. As always, I'm Athen.
And I'm back.
Yay!
I'm Cameron.
I don't have to be on Buy Me Onesie this week.
No, not this week. Shouldn't be next week. I don't have anything planned, so we should actually have me here for a while again.
So, yeah, last week kind of sucked. I didn't have any backup. I was all Buy Me Onesie. Couldn't figure
And I
anything
know
out.
he missed the week before that. He can't do what I can do. Just suck it up.
Well, the week before that, I accidentally overslept. I didn't wake up until like halfway through when the show would have been. So, and then this last week, I tried, but it kind of didn't work. I can't carry on a conversation with myself as well as other people can, it seems.
So what I heard is I'm just better at talking to myself.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a very exciting announcement. Hopefully this upcoming week or the following week, we're going to be covering what the media has been talking about as far as using e-cigarettes. And we will be having a guest speaker. Actually, he's one of the shop owners down here. He owns several shops. He, from what I understood when we were talking, he's also a lawyer, and he is going directly to Congress and the media with the bill itself. So he was very excited to get his word out there by any means possible, and hopefully he can give us some more insight personally. I know I've read many different articles on this because somebody in my life has been nagging at me to quit using an e-cigarette. But it's not what people are thinking it is. So that'll be very, very unique for us to have that guest speaker, and hopefully y'all will enjoy him as well.
So as far as that goes, I've noticed at my store, I work at 7-Eleven, we've got, I can't remember which one it is, but there's an e-cigarette. I think it's the Alto is which one it is, the Vuse Alto. But we have them on sale for 99 cents right now.
Well, it sounds like y'all are just trying to get rid of them.
That's what it seems like, but I don't know. I was thinking about getting one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, right now I'm doing the sharing part, so
yeah.
bear with me.
All right, you got a little bit of time. We can segue into a story here coming up in a few seconds. Let you get a little situated. So our first story is actually very entertaining, at least for me, because I know we just had a very important anniversary for the United States and a good portion of the world recently. It was the anniversary of 9/11, where we had two major events happen around that time frame. One good, one not so good, and kind of shocking, actually. But our first story is talking about, actually, we with the Iraqi security forces confirmed an ongoing operation to clear ISIS forces from an island along the Tigris River. The missions were accomplished by F-15s and F-35s to bomb the island of, I'm going to butcher this name, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only way I knew how to pronounce it. Qanus. It's Qanus. After the bombings, the forces continued with ground operations. They continued the attacks with using boats, and the main goal was to completely clear the island and protect the people from the terrorists. It's currently stated that that ISIS is on the run. They have fallen away from Iraq and Syria. They did claim credit for the Afghanistan bombing in June and plotted to sneak bombs in America from the southern border of Mexico. One of the tactics they've attempted is strap suicide bombs onto two cows and send them in with the rest of the herd to towns They dropped 80,000 pounds of explosives. We had there is video with the story itself. I fully want everybody here to check out that video. I want everybody here to look it up because it is insane.
So I wanted to, real quick, before we get too much further into this, I want to hit up the comment section. I want to recognize a few people who are watching. We got Annie Marie Honeycutt watching. She said hello. We got Shelly Kennedy, one of my friends from high school. She's watching. What's up, Shelly? Thank you for watching. Shelly Richie King from VRS watching. Your dad, I'm assuming, is watching. He says e-cigarettes are dangerous.
Actually, Dad, they aren't as bad as the media is letting you believe, and we will be covering that in the upcoming story. So I hope you'll be around for that one as well. And I'm your son, so you can also just text me.
we got Jade Lopez watching, and Mickey Severson just joined. All right, we can continue to roll on.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad y'all can make it back for my return appearance. No, I wasn't leaving y'all. I was not abandoning y'all. I figured Athen would have put a post out or something, and I guess he did not. Because when I watched his last session, it did not do nearly as
horribly.
Yeah. It does bad when we're apart, but when we're together, y'all are like, hell yeah. So yeah. we love the sport. We love seeing you guys, and it's great to be back. But the video itself, I mean, this island's fairly large for where it's at. Like, it's not a huge island, or at least it doesn't look that way in the video. And I was kind of disappointed at first with how they dropped the bombs. I thought they were going to carpet bomb like the whole thing in one row, and they hit a corner, and I mean, that corner was just going to turn into glass. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. It was like there is no hiding from what is going on.
Which story is this?
This is the ISIS Island.
Okay. Let me find that.
And as far as the cover the drone attack in Saudi, Dad, I did not see anything in that one. If you could actually send me that story, that would be great. So we'll have to look that up as well. Just give me a second to actually try and type that in so I don't forget it. And maybe we can touch on it later on.
I'm going to get the ISIS Island posted up in here real quick.
And moving on, do you have anything you'd like to add as far as this goes?
I didn't read that story because it wasn't in the news one. It was in the cam show. You put it, I thought the cam shows was for the ones that are going to be in the show, and then like the other ones were for submissions. I'm getting confused on the structure of
things. We'll deal with that after the show, so we're not confusing everybody. So moving on, September 11, Al-Qaeda leader actually called for an attack on U.S., Europe, Israel, and Russian targets. I had no idea these guys were still around. I haven't heard anything about them for years, probably at least 5 or 6 years. I haven't heard anything about Al-Qaeda. It turned into ISIS. I was just like, all right, great, another terrorist group. Well, hopefully we can deal with them as quickly as we can. Actually, I also saw another story that Osama bin Laden's son was killed as well, basically ending that bloodline. But now, Mickey, what have you been smoking?
And this is the 9/11 Al-Qaeda leader calls for attacks on U.S.?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I want to know where the hell they've been hiding because... okay. But they turned around and called for attacks on us as well as several other countries. And the leader, 68-year-old Al-Zawahiri, good enough, released a video and told terrorists if they want to focus solely on military targets that the presence is all over the world. Like, you're damn right, Al. The United States is everywhere. Al-Zawahiri got, from what I understand about the video, he was annoyed with how some of Al Qaeda's terrorists were against the 9/11 attack because it was targeting innocent lives. It wasn't targeting the military. And many of them, while in prison, had turned around and were like, what we did was wrong. And yes, it was wrong. 3,000 people should still be alive today. There's actually a video on Facebook, and it is hard, 1, to find, 2, to play, and 3, to share.
Right,
because it's covered. It's the video of the 9/11 footage, the planes crashing into the towers, the phone calls going out to the families, towers trying to reach the planes.
Is it a documentary?
No, it's kind of a commemorative video, a little memorial. Like, this is the effects that that 9/11 had on us. We swore we'd never forget. We're going to go into forgetting here in a little bit, and it was such an emotional video. You could hear the people crying, screaming in the phones. You could hear the towers attempting, the planes crashing in the background. And, we all swore we'd never forget. Mm-hmm. But certain people in Congress say that, some people said something clearly shows we've forgotten what that was about.
A lot of people.
And Facebook is so against, it pops up as a covered video, like uncovered this video to watch it, and it's about 9/11, and I'm wondering why the hell Facebook is being such a libtard, blocking that from showing yes, I understand it was a violent video, but it was about our history. It was about America, the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, and
on that regard, I can understand why Facebook would be blocking it. Not blocking it, but having it covered up so people can only watch it if they want to, because for some that may be some difficult stuff to watch. I can get that. It's things
if you want to do that, don't put it on autoplay. If you want to kind of limit the view of that video a little bit, don't put it on autoplay, because you scroll down Facebook, it pops up, autoplay, videos just run. No, there's not volume yet, but it's not just showing immediately. But why would you want to purposefully hide? Like, it doesn't give you a lot of details about what the video is. Mm-hmm. This video is covered for violence and whatever the warning is.
Well, it's like I said, I don't have much of an issue with. I can understand the reasoning behind it. It's things like, I watched a video once that was covered, and the entire premise of the video was literally just explaining the different types of government and all that stuff, like different types of government, from anarchy to extreme conservatism and all that stuff. And all that between them, explaining them the differences between it, and that was blocked. That was covered up. And it's like, what's the reason for this? This is literally just a lesson in government, and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, Facebook does not like the people being informed with actual facts and evidence, and remembering what the hell was going on 9/11.
Right.
So if we, ladies and gentlemen, if we ever get kicked off Facebook, you know why.
Hopefully that shan't happen.
Yeah, well, they're always stalking people, trying to look for it. But right now, it's believed that al-Zawahiri has been hiding in the Afghan-Pakistani border. The UN believes him to actually be in bad health, but doesn't give any details of why they made that statement. He's actually Egyptian and became the leader in 2011 after the death of bin Laden. So maybe he'll die off before things become a problem, but as of yet, his actual threat is unclear. So
yeah. There was that. That was there. So
where were you on 9/11?
I've got this really cool beer I'm about to drink. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's from 10 Barrel Brewing Company. It's a local beer here. It's a cherry cinnamon sour. It's called Crush. It's like 6.4% alcohol, or 6.3% alcohol. I've had one of them already. It tastes kind of like a really tart cherry cobbler. So, pretty good.
Sounds like he's trying to get us a sponsor.
It was like $14 a goddamn 6-pack.
Oof. Yeah, they definitely need to sponsor. Good God. I need Nutrisystem to sponsor me. I put on too much weight.
Right?
I'm gonna tag Nutrisystem later. Hey, you sponsor me, and I'll talk about you every video. Our next story is what I was actually talking about. For those of you who remember and should remember, Ilhan Omar was the one that actually said some people did something. So the United States swore we'd never forget, and this woman has been focused on nothing but toxicity in her position. She's constantly spouting anti-American statements. She's talking anti-white, anti-American, anti-male. I mean, she is just anti-freedom in general. And she's actually currently under another investigation for fraud as well as scandalism or whatever. But there's a very big investigation going into whether or not she actually married her brother and I think one other thing. But there is actually a Iraq war veteran, Chris Kelly, a police officer in Omar's district. He will be running for her seat in the next election. Mr. Kelly served for 27 years in the U.S. Army and Army Reserves. He also has over 36,000 hours patrolling in Minnesota. He states that Omar has been more focused on becoming a celebrity than actually helping her district. Mr. Kelly is quoted saying, "As a former military man, I am here to serve and not further my status. I want to do a good job for the people I represent, and I don't have a personal agenda." Kelly does actually have some political knowledge. He's not just a vet and a police officer. He actually campaigned for the Republican Senate endorsement in 2016. He lost, but he does actually understand how it goes. He also states he won't be bringing in controversy or scandals. Best of luck, Officer Kelly, and we hope you actually win because that individual needs to get the hell out of Congress.
Get the hell out of Congress. Yes.
Sorry, I was Canadian.
Canadian. We do need to find a third for the show because I'm over here trying to do comments and stuff like that, and you're trying to do the story.
Trying to have a conversation and the story. Like, yeah, we've got to find a third for sure.
But yeah.
So if you'd be interested in joining us in our show, if you'd be interested in being on the show, please reach out to us on Discord or Facebook, and we will do some interviewing.
Annie Marie Honeycutt just shared a link to the 9/11 video you were talking about.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's in the comments.
Okay, let me go check out to see if it's the actual one I think it is.
So, Mickey Severson says, Ilhan Omar is an anti-American to the core. Her and the rest of the fire team need to be shown to the door. And I can agree, like, I don't know, it's not, for me, it's not the fact that that she's Muslim or anything like that. That's not what really kind of gets me on her. It's that, you know, her and several others that are actually in the American government right now have kind of, I mean, I'm not huge on politics, and I like to try to avoid them for the most part, but they have shown, like, straight up anti-American sentiments, you know, and all that stuff, and I just don't feel that that's something that needs to be in the American government. That's like a coup in the beginning, which is just ridiculous. And then,
see, I, on the other hand, love getting into politics, and love actually just having a actual discussion, not just you're wrong, where are your facts, or why are you stating this? It's lies. It's lies. I try and come at you with stories, evidence, and whatever I can. And if you disagree with me, you can always post your comments. You can hit me up on Facebook, Discord. You try Instagram.
I get all that, but there's so many other freaking sources where you can go for politics, and it's like I just kind of want to. I'm one of those people that's like, I don't know a lot about politics. I don't like politics a lot, and I kind of just want to bring people something other than politics, because that seems that's all Facebook is anymore, is politics. So
Facebook to me seems like piss poor memes and just a lot of drama. So
well, yeah,
I try.
There's that also.
but it does have a lot of politics to it, depending on who you follow. I know personally I follow several politician type things. I personally follow Trey Gowdy. I follow Dan Crenshaw. I don't get a lot from Dan on Facebook. I follow two different media individuals. I can't remember the names for the life of me right now. I think three actually. And I love actually watching them and seeing them. Some of them, they'll pull a Democrat to come up and have a discussion, and everything I talked about, how they're just screaming and bickering and bitching or nagging or griping. That's all I ever see them do. There's very little evidence or facts, and what facts they do provide. I shared a meme not that recently, about 4 weeks ago, where the Democrats were, God, I have to sneeze and don't want to happen. Okay, there it goes.
There it goes.
I shared a photo of what the Democrats were considering our high velocity rounds or high capacity magazines and what their rounds per minute actually was, and it was completely off. They were saying that semi-automatic weapons were substantial, like 3,000 to 150 rounds per minute difference for the semi-automatic compared to an automatic weapon, which is just not true at all. And the people, one of the discussions I was getting into with hopefully our guest speaker coming up, we were also talking about is people will take an article, read the headline, and be done with it, and take it at its face value, which is not what you need to do. You actually need to read, do your homework, and study a little bit if it's something like that. Do not be one of the uninformed masses that just take away the guns. The government's here to protect the people. No, the guns are here to protect the people.
And that is a really sad thing about like Facebook is that is kind of typically how people do it. They will, and I've noticed it over and over a lot. I've noticed a lot over a period of time of like being on Facebook, because I've been on Facebook for quite a while and all that stuff, and it's like you will notice that a lot of people will just take and share an article just off the face value. Like even you'll see like Duffel Blog or the Onion type articles being shared, and people are literally thinking they're legit articles just because they read the
and then
headline.
the person will turn around and tell you, they'll swear up and down, I've read this article, when they've read the headline, and then they're going off their emotions and their feelings of what the article should be. That's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Your emotions and feelings do not dictate what facts and evidence actually does.
Jade Lopez says, that was one of the cutest man sneezes I've ever heard.
Yeah, bite me. Making me lose my train of thought. Damn both of you. So,
damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead.
Man, yeah. So, if you read into the articles, I mean, even you've got literally a criminal running for president coming up, Francis, and he's trying to take away guns. Hell yeah, we're going to take away your AK-15s and your AR-15s and AK-47s.
Who's this person?
Beto O'Rourke, also known as his actual name is Robert Francis.
Robert Francis?
Mm-hmm. So every time I hear that name, I'm thinking of Deadpool popping up doing his little Francis spiel.
And he's an actual criminal.
Yes, he was arrested for public intoxication, something with alcohol, and breaking into a house.
Ah.
Yeah, so burglary charges as well.
Yeah. And he's the one who's going out there saying, we will come and take
you. He's 100%, we will take away your guns. While every other Democrat is beating around the bush and like wanting to put out rules and regulations to limit the firearms we can have and get, he is 100% for, we're going to take your guns. And I've actually shared multiple funny ass videos about people making fun of this man. He definitely should not win the presidency at all. because there are going to be a lot of people standing their grounds with those AR-15s and AK-47s.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, and that's a line that's being crossed right there because that is a violation of the Second Amendment. So, at that point, there's all of those who
The Second Amendment's been getting infringed on for decades. Banning of bump stocks. People can't get a hold of automatic weapons. Suppressors are a bitch.
Suppressors so the bump stocks. The suppressors
shall not be infringed.
I know, but bump stocks are not really. That's not saying you can't have a weapon. That's kind of, that's a
banning of high round magazine. When a 30-round magazine is considered a high round magazine, that's ridiculous.
Those I can understand is an infringement, but it's not a straight up fuck you to it. It's just like, okay, let's try to compromise a little bit.
And the funny part is, we talk about this all the time. The criminals are still going to get a hold of the damn things. Mm-hmm. What makes you think that the law-abiding citizens need to give up their guns? Because when you take away the good guy guns, the bad guys just walk over it.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, so the banning of high cap magazines and stuff like that. That's kind of, I can see that as kind of like compromise. It's like, all right, we're not really trying to completely just say fuck your Second Amendment rights, but let's have a little bit of compromise. Those ones I can tolerate and I understand. Now this straight up where we're gonna come take your rifles away from you, we're gonna come take your weapons away from you. That is just straight saying fuck the Second Amendment. And at that point, that's when people are gonna have to decide whether or not they want to follow through with their oath.
Yeah. Because the oath is to protect the Constitution against all enemies, foreign, and here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen, domestic.
Mm-hmm.
Literally every military individual should have taken that oath, and I believe a huge majority of law enforcement. I think they're going to change that oath coming up soon so that domestic clause is out.
I don't know, but
I think the higher ups are going to be like, we need to get rid of this because there's going to be a lot of them that take away or have that takeaway of I need to protect people from this because it's becoming tyrannical.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, that's what it is. And in the Constitution, we the people have the right to overthrow the government if it's acting tyrannical.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like. The compromise parts I can understand, but the straight up just wanting to take it away, that one I can't really tolerate. And it just all depends on how serious people are.
Well, if you look at it, they've been trying to ban AR-15s forever because of just how they look. It's a military style weapon. It was designed to kill people. It's high round, high velocity. It enters the body and just absolutely shreds. I mean, these are some of the statements we're getting from the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it was not designed to be a military weapon. It was not designed to be, seen in combat. That was the M4 and M16s. And there was they claim, and I hope to God he was not actually a veteran, but they had a military individual that was talking about the AR-15 and was just sounding like a complete and total ass the entire time. And I'm hoping I can find that video later and share with y'all because I want to know how much they paid this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So any kind of compromise, I believe, is infringement on your rights.
I don't think. Well, no, it wouldn't because it's a compromise. It's trying to meet a goal for all people involved. It's that's what a compromise is. So that's not going to be an infringement because it's something that all parties can agree upon. Now, the infringement would be
that's the parties that are in politics and getting paid. Now, do the people fully, completely endorse this? And yes, some of them are going to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about the firearms, I don't want the government anywhere near them. You have no right. You have no say. If you're going to, I actually shared one video into our page. If you're going to call for the ban and taking of these weapons, are you as the individual that is pushing this bullshit going to be the first one to enter to try and take these firearms away, because if you're not going to back up your words with actions, you need to shut the hell up and sit the hell down.
And these are the reasons why I like to try to avoid politics. But it's like, so I'm not saying the full-on ban or confiscation of ARs and AKs and you know, assault, or not assault, but you know, those style weapons, right? What I'm talking about is like, what is exactly what I said. Like, so, you know, necessarily there's not a whole lot of reason for 100-round magazines and all that stuff. And if people are going to be like, okay, fine, I'll be okay with maintaining my weapon at 20 rounds, whatever, cool. You know, that's all right. I can understand that. I can get behind that. That's a compromise, you know, kind of thing. It's you know, when you have a population as large as we do, and everyone coming in to have their opinion on things, you're going to have to compromise in situations on stuff a little bit.
Well, you look at it this way. You look at the countries with the least, and even some of the states with the least amount of gun laws and regulations, they have the least amount of gun crime.
This is true, but those also tend to be the lower populated areas.
They are lower populated, but they're also well protected. There was also in one of the videos I shared, he was talking about the amount of deaths of a rifle compared to pistols. The number, it was like last year was like 40 deaths of a rifle compared to like 7,000 pistol deaths. Why aren't they coming for pistols? Because pistols are closer range.
No, because so you take the rifles and all that stuff first, the one that everyone's afraid of, and once that happens, then it's going to be easier to go for the pistols.
Shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go for the closer range, you know. Yeah, Mickey, you are 100% right. The compromises will never stop until the full bans are achieved. There's another meme floating around out there that it's, it's the...
I don't believe that's true either, because you're going to get to a point where people are fed up at a certain point as it's happening. So, because
we're going to die out. I mean, eventually, it's you know, it's the jack step. Come and take them. Okay, you can have that, but you can't have this. All right, we'll give this up, but you're not touching these. Okay, here, just take it. And then it's like, it's got a pocket knife that says, you can't have this, something like that. I'm like, yeah, you're 100% right. They're going to come for every single thing, and over time, the people are just going to take a compromise. And the media is going to push that agenda. You know, there's more deaths, and I 100% believe that people are paying these idiots to go out and kill, just so they can push this agenda. Or they're you know, I can also believe that they're focusing on it more at this point in time, because they want that media. They want to push that agenda. We're going to ban this, and then they're going to get that little ban, and then they're going to wait a while. And as a
good segue, because our viewership is dropping, to get away from the politics, it was kind of funny. The other day at work, this dude came into the store, right? And he came to my register, and I was helping him all that stuff. And I noticed while he was reaching across over the counter, I saw the bottom of a holster underneath his shirt. Right, his shirt pulled up, and I saw the bottom of a holster. And he left the store, and the next guy walked up to me, and I was like, I don't know if that dude was trying to conceal or open carry, but either way, he was failing on both accounts.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. We are dropping a little bit. Moving on, our next story goes to Ocasio-Cortez is being challenged as well, and this one is absolutely hilarious. Why I say that, she's actually being challenged by a Republican immigrant from Jamaica.
Ocasio-Cortez.
I think there's going to be a lot of liberal heads exploding because, one, they show they love to vote for the immigrants and they love to vote for the women because they fully want these people in politics. They think they can do great things for their people. But she's a Republican, which is great. Not only that, she's a colored Republican. So she's got the immigrant thing going for her and the colored thing going for her. And I'm sorry, I don't want this to seem racist or anything, but we definitely see that the left loves to vote for these kinds of people. But she's come to this country legally. She's running for Congress, And she was a news not news what was it? She's been in business for quite a while. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she actually tells Fox there's a crisis in Queens and it's called AOC, and that's her actual quote. Instead of focusing on us, the people, she's been focused on becoming famous. I think we can all agree that there's been quite a trend in that. You know, you have the 4 individuals in Congress right now that have been more focused on becoming famous than they have been becoming beneficial to their locations, and I think there's several other Congress individuals that are more focused on just making money and, you know, not worried about their people at all. I can't remember his name. He's actually a Democrat for, I think, another area in Minnesota. I'd have to go back and look, but this individual is always causing heat plus frustration in Congress, and I would be more than happy to see him gone because he's taken millions of dollars in donations for his district, and the district is just trash. There's with Sheree Murray is the individual's name. With her, there are also 4 other Republicans who filed run. Meanwhile, the Democrats have put no new rally challenger behind Ocasio-Cortez, and I think they like the puppet they have in place enough to try and continue to push her into the political world and keep her in place because, one, she does not seem like bright. And Hillary Clinton's dangerous because she is extremely smart and tries to act oblivious at times. Ocasio-Cortez, I don't think, has that acting ability. I think that's literally just her. So she does not have the mindset for politics.
I'd have to agree.
With that, I really hope that this Sheree Murray does win. I hope she does very beneficial things for her district in Minnesota. Other than that, I have nothing else to add to that story. And that's where you would say, no, we can move on. No, that's all I have for that story. Well, something tell me I can move on.
You're welcome to move on there, Cameron. I don't have anything for that one either.
Thank you, Athen. Moving on to our next story, another 9/11 incident. Well, not incident, but a blast from the past, I should say. Navy SEAL credited with killing bin Laden put out a very interesting tweet. Rob O'Neill describes the final moments of the terrorist leader's life in May 2nd, 2011. His quote: Osama bin Laden died scared shitless, hiding behind his wife.
Yes.
Bin Laden declared war on the United States August 1996, signing the presence in Saudi Arabia. He also states that it was the Navy SEAL O'Neill has also stated it was an awesome night. It was such an honor to be part of an incredible team. He talked about how they were afraid that they were going to die. They didn't know how that night was going to turn out, but he was definitely happy after the fact to have been a part of that crew.
So, I just think it's awesome how he was like, he died scared shitless hiding behind his wife. Because, I mean...
Oh, yeah. Good God. I mean, you can't imagine. The people that I think are screaming right now are baffling. He was a human being. He had rights to trial. No, the hell he didn't. This man was a monster and a murderer. He was not needed to go to trial by anything. That man was a terrorist, known terrorist, huge threat, huge problem, killing thousands of people, wanted to kill more, spouted nothing but hate against the United States. That man definitely deserved what happened, and it is awesome to see how they claim he had died.
And any fucking coward who's gonna like stand behind like a woman or especially your wife and try to be like, oh my God, protect me, or hope they get killed instead of you or whatnot. But even still, it's a freaking SEAL Team 6 coming in for you. She might get killed, but so will you.
There
So,
is always collateral in wars.
yeah.
I think what people don't understand, especially with the rules of engagement that changed, the military has to wait to be fired upon to return fire.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous rule. If you see a hostile threat, if I see somebody with an RPG coming over a hill, I'm not waiting.
Yeah.
And I don't. What I was trying to say is what I don't think people understand that is if these individuals actually made it to American soil. I mean, look at the Boston bombings. If these people get to America to continue to incite war, they don't give a damn about any of our lives.
Nope.
They don't care if you're a woman, a child, a man, if you identify as a lemon, man, woman, transgender, they don't care. In fact, they probably laugh the whole time at us by these people spouting that your gender is not what it is. So, if they don't care about the collateral, yeah, all right, it's bad. I care enough to not want to risk the lives of innocent individuals over there. But at the same time, if you're going to hide in the innocent lives, I don't see many other options because it's hard to differentiate between those who are going to be enemy and those who are going to be friendly, especially when they train children half the time.
Hmm.
So that kid walking around the street, he could have a grenade, he could have a pistol, he could have, an AK-47 hiding somewhere. We don't know that. So with these individuals hiding amongst the people, I see no other options but bombing. If they're going to hide, we have to stop worrying so much because if they ever make it here, they're going to do everything they can to completely eradicate us. It's not going to be a pretty thing if they make it to American soil and can actually hold their own.
I understand all that, but like, sadly, due to the advancement of culture and the advancement of people, civil rights is actually a really big thing. And if you just go out and start violating civil rights to everyone, then we're going to be viewed as evil people. So I mean, it's like
we're already viewed as evil people.
To the not everyone, just to the few. Like to the those people like in the Middle Eastern people and a few other like not to the many.
Example A, Jade Lopez. Thank you for posting that. Jade says I found more contraband on children than adults while conducting searches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and I understand that, but you go out there and you just start carpet bombing freaking cities in Iraq or Afghanistan and all that stuff.
I'm not saying just go out straight away and just dropping bombs. No, do the research, find out where the hostile threats are, get as accurate information as you can. I'm nowhere stating that. Yeah, just turn the whole area into a glass parking lot.
We should probably.
Not saying that, but
move on to more interesting topics because our viewership's down to 3 and 4 right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna stick around today. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys?
Okay, so Mad Dog Mattis.
Mad Dog Mattis?
Mad Dog Mattis. He's actually the former Secretary of Defense is up for a new job. He is set to join William Cohen, a senior counsel of Cohen's business advisory firm, the Cohen Group. As of yet, there's no actual known contributions that he's going to be doing. He was just wanted to be hired for the position. But Cohen says he's a Marine, a student of history, a scholar, and a teacher, and a public servant in the true sense of the term. We are honored to be working with him and our clients. We will benefit from his knowledge and guidance. I think many people can definitely benefit from his knowledge and his advisory. So it will be interesting to see what Cohen Group will be doing in the upcoming year. Athen?
Yes, I had read that article, but it was when I first shared it, which was the beginning of the week. Hold on, let me get into it.
It's a real short article. Mattis actually released Call Sign Chaos Learning to Lead, which I believe is his book, and details his time working alongside both President Obama and Trump. Mattis didn't lend criticism to the former president, but stayed relatively quiet about his falling out with Trump. Mattis is a genius. I do believe he was correct in keeping troops in Syria to an extent. No, we don't need to be playing Big Brother to everybody forever.
So, so basically, Mattis is going to be going out and being an advisor to it's a public security firm, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so that sounds like it might be good. Maybe there's some shit in the works for contractors to be sent out and doing some stuff.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see.
We got Chaz D. Porter watching. Thank you for watching there, Chaz. What's up, Chaz? So
Thank you for joining us. You're a little late to the party.
That's my buddy Zach's daughter.
Aha.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Moving right along.
I know you hate politics, but this is kind of the theme for this week. Hong Kong protesters waved the American flags and asked for U.S. support against China. I'll let you get that story pulled up.
Yep, I'm getting it right now. So this one, let me put it in the comments there. Bloop. Bloop. All right. Got it up.
So there's a protest going on in Hong Kong right now, and I'm sure many of you have been seeing it. They've been actually waving American flags in the street for a while, and I actually want to trade some of them for what we have in our country.
Well, see,
can we just I had them, you got them, and take parts and just, you want to go live in this socialist order, you can go over here. If you want to live under our democracy, you can live over here. Just pull. You want to go, you're preaching all this, man. You have the option to trade places right now. But the protesters are actually calling for a bill. Where was I? They're calling on U.S. lawmakers to pass the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act, which will penalize the Hong Kong and Chinese officials who participate in human rights abuse and extraditions being described as abductions. The bill would also make Hong Kong's status as a separate trading partner from China. It would also, for visa applicants coming from Hong Kong, it would suggest that where applicants are otherwise qualified, the U.S. will not limit those applicants arrested by the Chinese government during peaceful protests. So, like during this protest, if they were to get arrested, the visa would not be limited to them because they were actually trying to get democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
see, the Chinese people, they're very, very
not Family Guy. Oh God, what's that show where it's Stan?
Dad?
Yeah, I thought it was American Dad. Yeah, they actually have an episode about that where they're in Iran or Afghanistan, and George W. Bush is coming in and spreading his democracy.
Well, it's like so the Chinese people, they're very I can't remember what the word I'm looking for, but they don't have a lot of freedoms and all that stuff. They're very, very, very like the internet. Their internet is really controlled. They don't have much freedom. They don't have much of any choice of their own. But then at the same point, they have very close connection with like Taiwan, right? And Taiwan is democratic and all that stuff. So there's a lot of influence coming from like Taiwan and a lot of other places around there that are democratic. And now the Chinese people are starting to see what it's like to be in a democratic nation, and they're wanting to get that now. So there's a turn of stuff going on there in China. Like you can't even actually, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm fairly certain you can't even actually leave China unless you get permission to leave.
That would not surprise me in the slightest.
Mm-hmm.
I can 100% see the Chinese government trying to limit everything they can to the people. I think we could take a lesson from the Chinese and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Britain with them banning guns and banning knives. When I was talking with Zach of Max and Zach's, he was also talking about like you can't even have plastic cutlery over there right now. That's how bad the ban is.
Yep.
So if you want to, if I know I love me a good steak, I love some chicken. I love a lot of things. I'm a big boy. I like my food. I like to cut my food with a knife. So if I don't have a knife, and I've had some really tough steaks, if I can't get into my steak, I'm not happy.
Always got to have a knife, you know?
Always got to have a knife, and it's a tool. That's what knives were designed to be. They were designed to be a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't even have those over there right now. We're trying to ban even, and one of our upcoming stories talks about that a little. We'll talk about that a little more. They're trying to take guns away. What's going to stop taking knives? We're literally going to follow the British government. We were talking about being bought out, people being puppets earlier. George Soros, actually, I just saw this article pop back up. George Soros paid the, for those of you who remember the Smollett incident where he paid people to mug him. Yeah, George Soros just paid the prosecutor $400,000 to drop the case, and she did. The case just dropped. Literally, it was just done. Like, what the hell? What kind of puppetry is he pulling with Smollett, or is he just trying to like buy out as many people as he can and have them in their back pockets?
Mm-hmm.
I
don't know. Like, that might be it. I'm not really sure because that's one thing I would love to figure out and be able to discuss is what is George Soros's plan? What is his big umbrella idea? What's he trying to pull? Because he's trying to pull something. He's clearly trying to destroy the United States. Mm-hmm. Well,
so what?
See, Soros is tied to the New World Order and like the Rosicrucians and stuff like that. So that's a completely different. That's more going into like conspiracy theory type stuff. So
I will do that. Anybody want to discuss conspiracy theories? Hit me up because I don't think we're going to be able to do that here.
Well, and I do actually the conspiracy theory stuff. That's the stuff I like to talk about. I like to bring into things because that's stuff I'm interested in. I won't tell you that they're all things that I believe, but you know, I like doing the studies and all that stuff. But or studying on it and learning about it and all that stuff. But George Soros, he's part of the New World Order. And a lot of people are thinking that might be what a lot of this whole democratic agenda is for the New World Order. I mean, like, considering things like Walmarts. There's a lot of Walmarts that are being closed down all of a sudden. Like Walmarts that had just opened up within the last couple of months that are like all of a sudden being completely abandoned and shut down and shit like that. And they tend to actually all be down in the southeastern part of America too. Which that's a completely weird segue. But
for those of you who remember our shows, when we're together, we kind of get off topic a little bit. But we also try and give you good information, things you want to hear about. So,
of course, the whole Walmart's being closed down in the southeastern part of the U.S. and all that stuff, that has more to do with the global warming theory and of planet-wide flooding and all that stuff, and being prepared for that when it starts to happen and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I actually remember an article about the world climate change and everything like that, and it was a theory. I think they proved it to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
They believed that the reason the dinosaurs went extinct was because the polars had actually changed. North was south and south was north, and then those swapped and turned north to north and south south to south.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one theory. I haven't seen anything more on that, so they probably dropped it.
Well, concerning all that, like, the polar shift, that could actually be very sound in a sound theory and all that stuff. And as per climate scientists, climatologies, and all that stuff, geology, we are coming up to be due for another shift of the poles, but it's not a literal shift of the poles. It's a magnetic shift, which shouldn't really affect too much. However, at the same time, we are also actually going in the process of an actual climate, a climate shift as well. Scientifically, we are going through a climate shift. It's not necessarily the type like, climate change, global warming, this, that, and the other thing. But it seems as though, because we're, as far as the age of the planet goes and the cycle of ice age to not ice age, currently we're in a warm period of an ice age. And I can't remember the time span, but I think it's like 10 to 20,000 years or something like that. It goes through a cycle. It'll go down into a warm period of the ice age and come back into a cold period of the ice age, go back down into a warm period. Right now, as far as how climate and everything is going, it seems as though we might actually be starting to completely pull out of the current ice age that we're in, which historically throughout the cycles of the planet, we're about due for that as well. So
I hope we get into a new ice age soon, because I'm tired of sweating to death down here.
I'm the other way around. I want to go down to Antarctica and chill on the beach.
Right. Okay, you have fun with that. I'm going to go to somewhere really far north because I don't want to die. We're already hitting, I'm surprised I haven't seen 100-degree days on the Weather Channel down here recently. I don't think I've seen anything above like 98 recently, which is really baffling because usually we're sitting above that all the time down here in the summer, and we're getting 115-degree feeling index. Like, it would suck to be working outside right now. And I that's all I did for years was just work outside. So I think we need to get back to a little colder. I don't think Alaska would like that.
So we got Terrell Gill joining. Better late than ever.
Finally, good God, start sharing, Terrell. Moving on.
Moving right along.
As I said about knives just a second ago, at least 5 victims in they call it a mass stabbing in Florida with no motive released as of yet. 5 individuals wounded in Tallahassee, Florida at an industrial park. The suspect is an employee who stabbed people with a folding knife. And that's what I was actually talking about, believing the left is going to be coming for these. As far as the individual goes, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. This could have been just he was bullied to hell. He wanted a raise. He didn't get it. What? Just quit, dude. Just, if you don't like your job, literally just grab your crap and leave.
Well, it's one of those things. How mentally stable is the individual, and how much stress had he been going through? What had he been getting put through? Like,
I agree. I fully agree with that.
This is a folding knife for those of you who may not understand. I have this on me at all times. So, and it's just that simple. Maybe this dude just had a freaking mental snap, pulled it out of his pocket, and just went ham. I mean,
and that's the problem with a lot of employers. They don't care about the mental or physical well-being of their employees, and they will work them to death. And your job opening will be up before your obituary ever hits them anything. They don't care about us as people. To them, we're just a number and a means to make money. If you find a good employer that actually gives a damn about you, stay with them. I actually saw a post last night. A employer was giving out gifts to the people for like Christmas, and it actually came out. Their gifts came out of their own paychecks. It was like a $50 gift card, and that $50 gift card came out of their own pocket.
That's not a gift.
No, you're literally having me buy a gift card that I don't want.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So That's there was another one where an employer put a secret camera in the bathrooms. There was a recording device under the tables in the workers' lounge. Like there are some really crappy employers out there right now, and they do not care about us. That's why I will not go back to an employer that doesn't give a damn about its people or doesn't, set up some kind of conditions that are beneficial to the people. When I was working for Empire Steel, I went through one foreman that just he would rather you fall out than you come down and take a break, which you're entitled to. If you're working outside in 100-degree weather, standing on top of a reflective decking, there is no shade. It is 115 degrees plus the heat radiating off the steel. So you're sitting there, it's probably 120 plus degrees, and they want you to work an 8-hour shift with a 30-minute lunch, and that's it. That's all they want you to do. It's not physically possible. And he constantly talked about the good old days where we would just run the whole time. Yeah, the good old days, y'all were drinking beers at lunch and snorting coke in the bathrooms. I've heard your stories. That's literally what they did. That's how they did it. Not only that, you had coke in your coke. So your good old days, you were rolling half the time.
Yeah, right.
So don't come to me about being able to do this. If you got up there right now, you would die.
Yeah, I mean, and
I got in trouble. I'll tell you all a quick story. I got in trouble coming down once. I had just gotten back from being sicker than hell. I had mono, and I was out for a week, and I was on my throat closed up so much that if I would have waited any longer, I would have probably died. I had an inch of airway left, is what the doctor was telling me. They gave me steroids. They gave me injections. They did everything they could, and finally I felt better, and I returned to work. And I had to come down, and I needed to get some water. So I came down, and they said, you should have just had us throw it up. Nope. And I sat down on the cooler, and they got mad at me, and they yelled at me to get back up and get back to work. I'm like, I am working. I'm taking a break that I am entitled to. Your brother and boss has told me to tell you, sorry, Mom and Dad, if you watch this later. If they tell you you can't do that, tell them to fuck off and call me. That's literally what they told me to do. So they got mad at me and told me, if you're not going to get back up there and work right now, you need to start rolling the truck up or something. So I rolled the truck up, threw my gear in my truck, and I took off. You can't treat your employees in that manner.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guys can handle it. Some guys are also doing the easy jobs and running around welding the whole day or working in a lift. If I'm having to walk the steel and drag steel behind me, dude, that's what killed me, is just carrying steel all the freaking time. Instead of giving me, I don't know, a forklift to help me out. Nope. Hey, throw it on your shoulder and carry it 100 yards. Because it takes time to get that machine there. But you're not having a work comp case going in place.
Yeah. I mean, I know. Like, I used to, when I did the, plasma
if y'all
stuff.
If y'all haven't noticed, I get very adamant when we're talking about work.
When I did the plasma, CNC plasma stuff, making 2D metal wall art, it's like, I routinely, like, once, it was not every single day, but it was like every other week, we had to move 2 tons of steel, 80 pounds at a time, over a couple hundred feet and all that stuff, and that was by hand, and I was usually the only one doing it, picking up, 4x4 sheets of steel, carrying it from the trailer into the shop and stacking it. It's like, couldn't we just use a forklift or something? Because there was a
pallet jack, something.
Yeah.
I got yelled at Lowe's when I was working there umpteenth years ago now. I thought we had some more concrete on the ground, and I went to go look, and there was like 3 bags, and 2 of them were torn. So this gentleman yells at me, "You get them. I want you to get hurt. You need to get these down for me." And I got them down. I got them down just fine. 40-pound bags of concrete. They weren't the 80-pound bags, so it was nothing special. But he couldn't give me just a little bit of time to finish up what I was doing and let me come over and check. He had to have my attention right then and there. I think every single individual everywhere needs to work in some kind of retail, physically demanding job once in their life, just to see how it is.
Yeah. And those tend to be the jobs that pay the least.
Yes, they do. The harder working, typically, the less you get paid.
And it's like, right now, working at 7-Eleven, it's like you'd be surprised at actually how challenging that job is for the most part. And it doesn't pay a lot. It pays just a little bit over minimum wage and all that stuff. I mean, I like the job because, honestly, compared to a lot of the things that I've done, it is pretty easy. But it's like, I like it just because I can mostly chill for the most of it and all that stuff, and I don't have to worry about any of the other things that I've had to worry about in any of my other jobs. So I'm cool and I'm comfortable where I'm at with it.
So, moving right along, the Coast Guard has rescued 4 crew members trapped in a 656-foot capsized ship. All 4 members have been rescued off the Georgia coast. There's 2 stories. One of them actually has the video. The second one goes into the rescue. The rescue team actually drilled a hole in the boat. They had to use different torches. I didn't see in the article what they actually used, but they had to worry about sparking and causing fires in the boat itself. So the rescue took a little longer than they had intended, but they initially drilled the hole to provide fresh drinking water, food, air, and then they wound up drilling a larger hole to rescue the crew. 3 of the crew members were rescued in a room near the propeller, and the last member was rescued from a control room near the rear of the ship. All 4 are in good condition, and they were taken to the hospital for examinations. As of yet, there is still an investigation as to what caused the capsize. There was some discussion that Harvey may have had some influence in the capsizing of the boat, but we do not know that right now.
I mean, it sounds legit that Harvey may have had some sort of effect on the capsizing of the boat. Because I mean, was the boat loaded or was it empty?
It was loaded. It was transporting vehicles.
Okay, so I wouldn't suspect.
So if you buy a new car out of Georgia, look for flood damage.
Yeah, make sure it's not. It ain't been wet.
So, yeah, worry about some water damage on those vehicles if you're buying a new one soon. You never know.
You never know. I'm sure someone's gonna try to. Those will probably go to used car lots because I couldn't see actual new dealerships taking them. Those will probably go into auction.
I don't think any dealer is going to touch them. I think they're going to hold the transporter responsible, which is kind of messed up. But they're going to hold the transportation people liable for the. And I'm sure they have insurance in place for incidences like this, but they're going to try and get new vehicles.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to get they're going to be held responsible, but the ones that were recoverable, if any were recoverable,
the boat was upside down. There is no recovering any of that.
I don't know. There may or may not be some that were able to be recovered. You never know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're taking bets. Any recovered vehicles that are not water damaged?
Oh, I'm not saying not water damaged. I'm saying recoverable as in they were able to grab them. They were able to get them back.
Oh, they're gonna have to. If they don't, the eco-friendly individuals are gonna lose their minds.
So, and I wouldn't doubt if some of those ended up going to auction, and some of your more shady dealerships will pick them up, and you'll see.
Oh yeah, they'll be cleaned up to the best of their ability, and you'll still have rust coming in the next month.
Yeah, and you'll see some deals that are way too good to be true at some of the shady dealerships, and you're like,
why is that 2019 Chevy Silverado 1500?
Right?
1500.
Exactly.
So it's got 50 miles on it. What the hell?
So yeah, Port-au-Prince be riding around in new cars.
new-ish cars. I don't think I can call that new anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Slightly used and abused, more likely.
So, slightly.
Slightly. That's
Just a
what
little
it'll
bit.
be. That's what it'll be labeled as. Slightly used. Some water damage.
Previously loved.
Yeah. It was loved in the factory. And then it was put on a boat and abandoned.
Into the Pacific. Or no, that would be the Atlantic.
So, moving on from that, we only have, ladies and gentlemen, we only have two main news stories. We always do cover some kind of science in the topics. This is where we get into the science portions. Humans can reverse their biological age, shows a curious case study. So the case is only about a year old. It's a clinical trial published by the Aging Cell Journal. Patients took 3 common meds, growth hormone, and 2 diabetes drugs, and reversed their biological age by average of 2.5 years. Greg Fay, lead author of the study, says aging is something that may not be out of our control anymore. Your chronological age is never going to change, but they do believe that they're going to be able to change the biological age. So at this point in time, you know, what else are they going to be trying to change?
Well, see, and the thing with actual biological aging is your biological aging happens because of like free radicals in your body and your cellular breakdown, right? So if there's a way to effectively reverse or repair that cellular breakdown, then that makes sense. So, and they've tested these drugs, and they're saying that they've noticed actual legitimate
changes and
changes in results from this. So now they're going to go in and study that and figure out what did that, so they can then come upon something that will promote that even further. So I mean, you could see some drugs. I would, you know, if this actually pans out and everything like that, I would say, you know, probably in the next 20 to 30 years, you could probably be looking to see some actual legitimate anti-aging stuff on the market. Yeah, medication.
Well, I mean, they already have lotions and creams and makeups that claim they can do it. Look, gentlemen, check ID cards.
Right?
And that goes for both up and down. You might think you're on a date with a gorgeous 20-something-year-old, and in reality, you're in a relationship with Stacy's mom.
But Stacy's mom's got it going on, dude.
Stacy's mom had it going on, but she's still a mom, so she's at least 40. And if you're 20, yeah, all right, good for you, Cougar Chaser. But if you're looking for long term, it's not going to be that long.
Well, but see, then at the same point, it's the biological aging that's been reversed, so that means lifespan will then also be extended.
Yes, it will.
So, yeah.
Which is funny, in the Bible it actually states that because of the actions of some individuals, we had our life changed from the 500 plus years down to 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to challenge God again.
Science is always going to challenge God.
Science always challenges God.
But actually, I mean, at the same point, like, that's the way it is. Like, something that you don't understand or isn't yet understood is known as magic, you know? So God...
Yeah, if for the longest time, it was always known as magic.
Yeah. God and science kind of walk a thin line between each other. Or, along, you know, beside each other, I suppose you could say as well. So, I mean...
So,
we're down to one viewer, apparently. Our topic choice. All right. People don't want to learn about freaking being able to live forever? You guys suck.
I don't get it. I've shared the devil out of this thing today.
I've shared a lot, too. So
it's kind of disappointing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this later on. We love seeing y'all in here and sitting in here with us. We love your support. We love having you in the show and interacting. If we say anything that gets on your nerves, just let us know. Don't be hateful and just dip out. Come on, we want to have a conversation with you. That's why we do this. We're not just here to shout our side. We want to know about your side too. We want to know your takeaway. We want to know everything we can know. I saw a quote recently. If you feel like the dumbest person in the room, you're in the right room.
So, and I think it has more to do with people are like, oh boy, now I get to learn something. You know, people don't like the smart stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think that's about all we got for this week because our entertainment topics, they are entertain. Oh.
No, we have the one more story.
Which one?
The supplement for depression.
Okay. We can do that one.
We'll hit that one and then we'll cut short.
Yeah, our entertainment stories are kind of weak this week. Also,
yeah, they really are. So we'll hit the depression real quick.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap up and hopefully see more of y'all and get more support next week.
Yeah.
So please, ladies and gentlemen, let us know if there's anything we can improve on. If there's any way we can get some more of your reactions, some more of your shares, let us know. We're here to do this for y'all, and we want to get our voices heard as well. So we can't do that without y'all's help and support. But moving on, our last story covers depression and mental disorders. And recently they didn't think that it was as helpful as they thought it was going to be. But recently they're finding out more and more with relations to taking antidepressants alone that of a study of 10,951 people with mental disorders. And this goes back into nuts for your nuts and how we covered nuts for your nuts. Now we're covering nuts for your nuts and fish for your nuts, or fish so you aren't nuts.
Say that. Fish so you aren't nuts.
The dietary supplement market is predicted to make over $220 billion by 2022. 52% of the population right now reports using supplements. However, research discovered that one may be more powerful than others. Omega-3, commonly found in fish, vegetable oil, and nuts, may reduce depression symptoms beyond the effects of antidepressants alone. So, eat your fish, take your nuts, take your pills, and eat some vegetable oils.
But see, that also says for omega-3s taken alongside conventional treatments for major depression. So
just to make that very clear, it's not just going to alone, hey, I'm going to eat this fish, and magically, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of It's 1700 Somewhere. I'm Ethan, and I'm Cameron. No, you've got to take your pills.
Exactly. Or be really good at shoving things down deep inside you. Wait.
What?
That did not come out as it was meant.
Yeah. The research study was led by NICM Health Research Institute at Western Sydney University. And they wanted to shine the light on being able to take natural medicine as well. So you take care of your body, because we've talked about in previous shows how some of these unnatural medicines that are on the market are very harmful for you. If you don't remember, then you need to go back and watch some more of our shows.
No, yes. So
liver failure, kidney failure, possible anal leakage.
All kinds of bad things. So Jade Lopez over there saying, "What the fuck?" I'm wondering what she's responding to, referring to.
Jade, you've got to give us some more context than that.
Unless you're really, unless you're really good at shoving things really deep down inside you. I didn't.
Or she's reacting to nuts for your nuts and fish so you aren't nuts.
That might be it too. Nuts for your nuts, fish so you aren't nuts.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please, once again, share, love, give some support. Help us, help you, and help us some more.
That was one hell of a flirt, Evan. Yeah, I do kind of need to start thinking about what I say before I say it.
Yeah. So if y'all can, and we're gonna close up after this. If y'all could help us out some more, That would be greatly appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. We do want to grow. We do want to get heard. We love doing the show. We love having y'all here. We would just love to see some more.
Yeah. Yes, we do. We want to build it up a little bit. I agree with Cameron on that. So we're gonna keep trying to streamline what we have on our show. Kind of try to figure out what the audience wants to see, listen to.
I'm
here.
looking at if somebody wants to fund it for me, I'd love y'all and do some personal shout outs or some giveaways, stuff like that. But if y'all want to get me and Athens some actual mics so we look more professional, I want to get a green screen backdrop so we can actually have not this behind me and look more professional. I might actually rotate my desk to get the American flag behind me. That would be pretty good as well. We are working on some things. I'm looking at getting a GoPro and doing some I was thinking about doing some last night, but doing like shorts during the week as well as doing some like long recordings and posting them to our page, like going out shooting, going out fishing, just anything we can get some news out to y'all, or some activities, something that you'll enjoy, and probably I want to call them like at 1700 somewhere, ales and shots. Ales going to be the long ones, shots are going to be the short ones, just something to keep along with the theme. I'm definitely going to have to get a video editing program for that as well, but we do want to grow. Again, we are going to be hopefully having a guest speaker coming up soon, which is another thing I know we talked to you about, so we are trying to follow through with our promises. But y'all got to help us out in the process as well.
So, and I've got a lot of things that I'm working on over here on my end as well. I got a lot of things I'm working out. So, yes. With all of that, I guess we're gonna say make sure you tune in to Backwoods Veterans this evening. Here in a couple hours after us, a few hours after us. Actually, 5 hours. Wow. Yeah, they come in at 8 West Coast time. So yeah, 4 more hours, 4.5 hours at this point. And then I think Sports Church comes on immediately after us. Check out all the other VRS shows. Make sure you check us out on social media. Cameron dumped it out there, the at 1700 Summer page. We got the L-Train Fighters page. We also have L-Train Fighters on YouTube. We've got a Patreon that we've kind of neglected. We've got Instagram that I have also kind of neglected. We got every single,
which we are in regularly. So if you want to come out, hit us up on Discord. We preach that one a lot because you can get a hold of us directly on that one. You can actually talk to us. We can video chat. We can do a lot in Discord.
Yes, we can. So, and also follow me, Athen Daily, on Facebook. I'm going to put a link for our Discord in the comments real quick.
You can always add me on Facebook as well. I haven't been getting a lot of y'all, which is kind of disappointing. You can add me personally as well. So, on that note, Athen, I think you should start getting ready to close this out.
Yep. I'm getting the link for Discord, and then I will get us to shut down.
And then, as Athen's been saying, he's looking at moving soon, so hopefully we can get him a better setup.
So, hopefully we can get everything worked out. Well, we're working on figuring out how all that's going to happen. So, but anyways, with all that being said, y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we will catch you next week, same time, same place. As always, I'm Athen.
I'm Cameron, and it's 1700 somewhere.
Absolutely. Y'all have a